Tell me about your husband.
Really?
Yeah.
You're not married, huh?
No. Married to the work.
Married to the drywall
Married
work.
to the work. I'm trying to get through this coffee. This coffee is terrible.
The famous lovebirds, you're still together.
Hi, welcome to What the Flick. My name is Christy. That is Alonzo. That is Ben. Matt is in New York for New York Comic Con. At some point, all four of us will be in the same room at the same time, but that day is not today. So we're going to talk about Blue Jay, this great little indie starring Mark Duplass and Sarah Paulson, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's what they call a two-hander, unless you count a brief appearance by Clu Gallagher as a liquor store clerk.
A good appearance, by the way.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's always
great,
good to see Clu.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, Paulson and Duplass play former high school sweethearts, who neither of whom live in the small town where they grew up, but they both happen to be there for different familial obligations. Run into each other at a grocery store, like that Dan Fogelberg song they always play in December, and spend the day together and reminisce and figure out where they are now and uncover some secrets and truths and things. Take a look.
Dibs on the cream Benz, all black interior. Chrome on the dashboard, boy, y'all inferior. Fast lifestyle, fly boy, America. She asked, could she ride? And I said, more the merrier.
We weren't very cool.
No, we were deeply uncool.
I love you, Amanda Henderson.
I love you more. How was work for you?
It reminded me a lot of, Mark Duplass also wrote the screenplay, and it has the feel of one of those one-act plays that high schoolers like to do in competition, because there's like this sort of seemingly everyday conversation, and then a big reveal, and then it all, it upturns everything.
It takes time to get
Yes,
there.
no, it's a
though.
slow burn for sure. And I mean, it's, as an actor's showcase, it's dynamite. I mean, both of these performers are so good, and these characters feel so lived in, and I loved watching them do their stuff. By the end of it, I didn't feel like I'd come away with anything great, but I enjoyed just seeing them do their thing. They could have improvised the whole thing in those characters, and I probably would have had as much entertainment.
I feel like
out of it.
the screenplay will have a lot of holes in it, not in a bad way, because I felt like definitely this feels like a Friday Night Lights episode where we know they improvised it, where you're like, okay, so we're gonna pretend we're having a dinner party and we're pretending we're us in 20 years. What would we do? And then they made it up. That's what I sensed.
Right, there's an outline.
Yeah,
and I think he likes to work that way, so I'm guessing
Oh, okay.
that
Well,
probably
yeah.
is-
I mean, it feels like it was outlined the way they told. Again, I thought it worked really well. They're very talented, and they had a clear idea of who these characters were, and you get a very clear sense of who these characters were. I loved this. And you're right, it's a slow burn, but this movie is 75 minutes of movie. Like, that's it.
Your favorite kind.
My favorite kind. It was, I think it's an hour 20, but I mean, forget, you leave out the credits at the beginning, your credits at the end, you're at about 76 minutes of talking, of things happening.
Right.
And
Talking is the thing that happens.
Oh, and what happens is a tremendous amount of talking.
I gotta look up who directed it. Go ahead. Alexander. It's not. Duplass did not direct this.
Oh, I thought he did.
No, he wrote
Alexander
it.
Lehmann.
Yes.
As Alex Lehmann.
Yes, and it's shot in black and white, which is a really lovely choice for a couple of reasons. It definitely lends itself to
Nostalgia,
the nostalgia
yeah.
that ties them together, and there's an intimacy to it as well with the black and white.
Yeah, and I think the lack of vibrancy of that town too. It's not a place that you would generally be comfortable staying. Like, you see why they both left.
Crestline, California.
Crestline, California.
San Bernardino Mountains.
Even though it's quite,
It's picturesque.
It's picturesque. It's not unlovely. It just feels stuck in the past, right?
Yeah.
So you could see almost any 18, 20-year-old, 22-year-old thinking, I gotta get out of Crestline. I'll be happy to come back here once a year, but that's the end. That's that.
Yeah, and not that there are a lot of sets, but like the production design is pretty impeccable in terms of this house. He's back in his mom's house.
Yes.
After she has died, and it is a shambles, and he's also a mess, and just the details of the house and how it's not like some picturesque, wonderful traditional, and it's not some funky mid-century modern. Like, it's an incredibly normal suburban house with just crap everywhere.
Right, and his teenage room is untouched,
Yeah.
and it looks like a teenage room from the early 90s that is untouched.
This movie, we complain a lot about sort of exposition to explain big events in movies that, they didn't have the money to shoot, or the time or whatever, right? This is how you do that correctly.
Totally, yeah.
This is, there are big moments revealed for each of them that comes out of their conversation, but it feels completely organic. And, in particular, he describes a fight that he had. And, I don't for a second feel like, I needed to see that fight. Like, I know what happened in that fight, based on how this was written and how those characters developed. It just felt completely organic.
Yeah, and it is nonstop talking, but it's efficient. Like each scene leads to the next in a way that makes sense, and their emotional bond, because it's super awkward at first when they first meet, and then slowly but surely they become themselves and they become a kind of each other and together. And I think it's relatable in that everybody has that first love, that high school sweetheart who changed everything for you. So if you have had that, you will relate to this for sure.
And I think also the way it's written, there is this sort of accumulation of little details and facts about the people that when the big turnaround comes at the end, it gives it an important context.
And it's never mawkish.
No, not at all. Yeah. No, it feels very genuine, and I think that, I don't know that it would have been as good with actors who weren't this great. They're definitely, heaving it forward. For sure.
And I'm not meaning to disparage him in any way. He's terrific, and he's really good in Togetherness, and he's good. He's a really
safety not guaranteed.
Yes, right. He's a really good actor. But I had this when The Sopranos was in its primary run, and then everything else I've seen her in. I just feel like I had this elite list that I actually include Annette Bening on, just for some of the roles that she's had, where I just don't think you can be better at that job. And Edie Falco is the two best women actors of their generation. And now I'm adding Sarah
Yeah,
Paulson.
she's exquisite. I need to watch the OJ series.
God, you do. It's so good.
I don't have 7 hours.
Yeah, you do. You can find them. I was thinking about how there's like you could program a series of movies that is like Mark Duplass talking to woman or women, because was it The One I Love? Is that the one with him and Elizabeth Moss?
Oh yeah,
that one, which was so nutty.
Yeah,
where they're in the retreat, and then there's Your Sister's Sister with Emily Blunt,
that was great too.
Who's in Girl on the Train this week. So it's of a piece with those kind of films. But I think I would say, I don't want to say it's the best one, but it's up there. It's a very good one.
Yeah, and considering they also wrote it and they produced it, and they obviously, I guess that Alex Lehmann directed it, but this is their film.
Yeah.
Right.
So what are your numbers then, friends?
I gave it an 8.8. I thought it was great. I had it on a screener, and I set it up I then went to another movie. I went to see the main one, Birth of a Nation that night, and I set it up for my wife. I was like, "You're gonna want to sit here and watch this for 80 minutes."
Did she like it too?
She did like it.
Good. Oh, cool. I give it an 8. Yeah, it's very solid and two really strong performances.
I'm saying 9. I kind of loved it too. So our average is an 8.6. Is it 91% on the tomato meter? Is it streamable?
I think it starts streaming on Wednesday. It's a brief theatrical window, and then it becomes available. So yeah, it'll be, if it's not open near you, it will be on VOD.
And she really is. She's one of the great actresses of our time, and
no question.
Hope she starts being recognized as such.
Right.